Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Omega Files. I'm your host, Dr. Freedom, and tonight we've gathered to have a little, well, it could be a big talk because there's a lot of ground to cover with everything we've learned, between the new teaser trailer and, of course, everything that was covered, between the press conference and, of course, the panels for Doctor Who at Comic-Con. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go around and let everybody do a quick little bit about the trailer, because we're going to discuss that first. And then we're going to go to open mic conversation about what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out the bullet points that we learned from San Diego Comic-Con, and then we're going to have that as an open discussion. Okay, so when I go to you, go ahead and just go on the first about the teaser trailer. All right. Let's start up with Josh here in the upper corner. Josh, what do you think about the new trailer for Doctor Who?
But I thought the trailer overall was really good. I liked the different cinematography and the different angles that they were trying to do. And I also liked the fact that they did some different CGI than we're used to. But there's not really that much to talk about since it was only 53 seconds. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, got you there. AJ, what's your view on
it? Yeah, I watched the trailer with my wife. We both looked at it, and I enjoyed the cinematography as well. The whole look of it, the colors, the more, rich-looking feel to it. And just the dialogue of the Doctor talking over. And once she hit that point, she's saying, "Will you be my friend?" We both looked at each other and said, "Could you be any more needy?" I don't know if that's me nitpicking, but it just, I don't know. It felt like the redhead kid down the street with no friends saying, "Could you be my friend, please?" I guess they're trying to sort of go with the whole Peter Capaldi thing. Am I a good man? So I don't know, but that's just my thought and my feeling, because we both thought the same thing at the same time. So, yeah.
Would you be my neighbor? Oh. Okay, Connor.
Not the biggest fan of it, to be honest. When we heard that there was going to be a panel at Comic-Con and we expected a trailer, usually you get a 3-minute thing or a 2-minute thing. We got 40 seconds of a beach, what seemed like a derelict town, and some other little settings that we're going to see throughout the series. No monsters, very little of the Doctor in action. We did see her using the Sonic and her running around, but aside from that, it was nothing to sell. Considering that Chibnall is selling this as a jumping on point for many people that haven't seen the show before, that trailer certainly would not sell it to me. Watching it, I've come up with a few theories that maybe that teaser is more teasing the emotional journey that the Doctor's going to go on, rather than the whole series in general, because it was her in the voiceover, and it was her pretty much setting out that this is all new to her and she needs a new set of friends. So I will take this as a teaser trailer, but if we don't get a full length trailer that teases the monsters, if they keep stripping back on the advertising and the promotion of this series to the point where we know absolutely nothing, I think that they're running the risk of not gaining an audience, because I don't see that as a trailer that would sell a TV show, apart from the fact that it looks really cinematic and a little bit different to the other Sunday night dramas like Broadchurch, for example, that you would see on British TV.
All righty. Okay, Lady Neo.
Oh, thank you. Let me see. Well, the first, that the teaser. I like the little teaser. It was snazzy. Her running around like the Flash and doing all that, replacing the pizza and everything. I thought that was kind of cute. And then at Comic Con, they showed this with her with their companions, and she's traveling all over the place. And the one thing I noticed, where was the TARDIS? There was no TARDIS. See, I was thinking right off the bat, I said, well, what if she's traveling all over the place and she's looking for the TARDIS, and the TARDIS is denying her entrance or something? That would be totally cool for me. Let's see what else. The character-wise, I'm not 100% sure on the characters yet. At first, I thought that one lady that was the cop, I thought she was from Smith and Jones, one of the one with Martha. I thought that was her, but since they said no, I said, oh, okay. So this is fresh. This is new. Everything's new. And yes, I'd have to agree with AJ with the various of colors and more. Was it cinematography? But I don't know. I just felt like I wanted a little bit more. Maybe a monster or two.
Alrighty. Graham.
I'll tend to agree with the consensus that's been said thus far. Cinematography, excellent. It's one of these divisive trailers whereby if, like Connor, you were after a 2.5 minute thing with all the bangs and whistles, you're going to be pissed. If you're that person on the internet who like to be teased somewhat and know a thing, this is for you. For me, this is merely a teaser. This is probably what we should have got on the Sunday during the World Cup thing. And like it or lump it, this is the way that the Chibs is going to roll. He will divulge when he's good and ready. Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see with regards to that. Jodie Whittaker, voiceover, not bad. Interesting scenery and landscape shots. And again, all this is basically doing is introducing you to the Doctor and the three companions. Nothing we didn't already know. We have a few scenes thrown in there and a wee comedy sketch at the end where obviously she's about to change the costume. Yeah, that is going to be fun. No cameras in that dressing room, folks. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but it does well to, quench the thirst, and we'll see if the Texas Tim Rule of 2 holds up again come mid-September, and we get a 2.5 minute thing maybe on the YouTube channel and about then. Decent start, but like the guys have said, we need some more. Please?
Okay, well, what do you want to have to add, Josh?
I just wanted to go back to what AJ was saying about the whole "will you be my friend" thing. I hope to God that they are not changing companions to friends, because that just sounds dumb to me. Like that whole "will you be my friend," I was just like, oh.
Right, hang on, before you throw up in a bucket, Josh, let me clarify. Chip said at the panel, it's for promotion for this season only. It's no compulsory you have to call them friends.
But then at the panel, he was calling them friends.
Yeah, Stephen Moffat's sounding great on it now, isn't he?
At least it ain't like with the Fifth Doctor when you call him cannon fodder. Okay. Okay, Philip.
From what I saw, it looked very vibrant and very fresh and new, which is an important thing for a new kick-off for Doctor Who. I'm a bit concerned when she says, like, this is all new to me. I mean, is she saying that because she's now a woman, or is that because she just regenerated? I mean, it's like, what I'm trying to say is, the Doctor's done it so many times, regeneration. Why is it always new? It can't be new any more than it is already, than it has been before. I mean,
Phil, it's new for that body.
Yeah, but even still, it's still the same person. It's still the same person. It shouldn't have to be...
With a new personality.
Still the same person. I'm not going to go into more than that. But overall, but the trailer itself, I would agree with everybody else. I would have liked to have seen a bit more, like everybody else said, that some monster action, some TARDIS interior shots. And also, it's just strange that nobody actually had any lines to say apart from the Doctor herself. I would like to hear how the companions respond to a certain situation in the trailer. So we never got that. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's a bit menial. at best what we got. So I'm hoping that next time round we get a longer trailer with a bit more to it, a bit more meat on the bone, so to speak. But otherwise, it's all right for what we've got.
Okay. Doctor Who commentator.
Well, everyone's pretty much kind of said what could be said about this. Really, there really wasn't much to it than anything but I would have really liked. I mean, I said it was just simply a monologue of the Doctor, ultimately getting to "Will you be my friend?" There weren't any monsters. Nice scenery, great cinematography, like people have said. You've seen there's. I mean, you have one which is a large beach and it looks like a ship's crashed on it or something. Then there's one part which I can only assume was a military base. For a moment, I thought I saw Bessie in the corner. Then I realized, oh no, that's a jeep. Yeah, other than that, I don't know what else there is. I mean, the only other thing you can really point out is the Doctor with that weird blowtorch thing, I'm assuming creating a sonic screwdriver. As for Neo's point earlier about that maybe this whole thing is about the TARDIS, the Doctor looking for the TARDIS, and I'm thinking, well, she better have a new method of time travel then, like Captain Jack's. Can't remember the name of it now, but you'll know what I mean. I don't think that's going to happen because of all these different locations. Although it could be, it would potentially explain why we haven't seen the TARDIS interior yet. But nonetheless, that's a whole different topic to talk about. Trailer itself. It's all right. Really wish it could have been better. I'm hoping the lack of monsters in this trailer doesn't mean we're going to have a lack of monsters in the show.
Okay. I can see that where you're going there. Okay. Next up, William.
You know, everybody. The first teaser that came out that was like 46 seconds. It was a good, you could say, introduction to the Doctor and companions. But of course, we feel that it was only made just for that thing, is that those scenes would not be shown on TV as an episode, which was pretty good. But of course, immediately online, everybody was saying it was almost a ad for the Flash. But that's just so. This one we thought it was again, it's a teaser because it's not a trailer. It's not, but it wasn't that long. But my first gripe, and I know we in July, but I thought we would have a date on where the Doctor would premiere, so we could be prepared for that. But it hasn't been announced, so now we have to wait and figure that one out. The thing of her saying that, will you be my friend? And I'm not too thrilled about it myself because everybody here, just right here, we all know since the return of Doctor Who in 2005, everybody's a companion. And those of us who watch the classic ones know that's the same thing. And then companions come and go. We saw the last companion with Peter Capaldi. What happened to her? And since those who watched the 2005 know that the Doctor only has one main companion with him at all times, and that's Death. Whether he likes it or not, Death is going to show up. And so, but like everybody was saying, yeah, we didn't see no creatures or monsters or anything appear, but we already heard because of the panel that one good thing, in my opinion, is there will not be an appearance of the Daleks because to me they've really been burned out. Give them a rest, let them appear where they appear, whether in the comics or Big Finish. So let them be like that. So were there any other classic monsters show up? I don't know. I'm not in dire need of them because since this is a new showrunner, he might want to introduce some new characters like that for his run. And so we will find out. Now, of course, like Lady Neil said, we had not seen a TARDIS because, of course, we don't even know if they finished building a TARDIS interior yet. So that's probably why they haven't showed it. But whether the Doctor, we heard in the rumor line, right, Connor, that at least 2 or 3 episodes that the TARDIS will appear again. So that's a come year. We have heard of certain episodes that are historical would take place. So that's how that travel would be done like that. Now, how long would it be? Will a real trailer with a premiere day appear? Again, we don't know because right after she finishes her appearance in San Diego, they will go back and finish a few episodes that need to be done to have this season in the can, and of course take a little break because they don't have to start filming the Christmas episode for the end of the year. So that's already in the planning stage. this is it has a, like AJ said, it has some great cinematography, great camera angles like that. So I really look forward to that. But at the same time, just like Connor said, it didn't bring me into it that I'm anticipating wanting to see it because they really didn't show nothing. And I don't know who said it, and I know I heard it somewhere on the line. They come saying that this teaser was the greatest thing since the slice of bread. And I'm gonna have to disagree with that because those of us have seen other trailers, even quick ones that really caught our eye, that made us had a countdown for that episode to show up. So I'm gonna have to say negative on that. We go back to other stuff in a little while.
Alrighty. Oh well, yeah. Myself, I was looking for something closer to Time of Heroes, and that got a little bit closer to it. Okay, Bo, go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer and I liked it. I liked the cinematography on it, and I like that they're going to other worlds, and looks like there's going to be one or two historical things going on there, and I like the companions, and I like her new sonic screwdriver, and I would have wanted to see one or two villains in it. Yeah, but apart from that, it should be a great series.
All right. Yeah, that's one thing. I guess I was talking about, like Time of Heroes. You got this little thing where you got hints of what's coming. They did the same thing, way back with what was it? Bells of St. John and all that, where you had the teaser poster and all that. And if you looked in the slivers of glass, you saw the little various creatures that were possibly going to appear over the season. That was something I was hoping they were going to go to. They got closer to it with this one, but it does give you a bit more, but it could always, hopefully we'll get a bit more than that soon.
Can I just say, I do like the idea that we're getting more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Different locational things happening in the season rather than you're just being always earthbound. So I like the fact that we're going off-world as well, a little bit as well, more so.
I know that for sure, do you?
Well, from what we've got, you can tell. I mean, she's got the TARDIS now, and it might be time and space worthy by the time she gets to it. So yeah, why not?
Well, to be fair, with a couple of them in Cappies last year, you were in space for oxygen.
Yeah, but we've only seen a little bit of what's to come. We don't know what else there is to offer. Yeah. So.
Well, like I said, everybody out there, rest assured, we do know that she does eventually recover the TARDIS. It's like because otherwise, why they build a new prop for one? Plus, we've seen it in different locations. At the Park Hill Flat, South Africa, and all that. So it does eventually pop back up. It's just a matter of when. Like I said, I've heard end of episode 1. I've heard end of episode 2. So, plus it's going to be interesting because, like I said, I'm kind of glad they're holding back on the interior because they did the same thing, remember, back when Matt Smith took over, where you didn't see it to the end of the episode what the actual new interior looked like.
But we did see it on the Radio Time cover of that week.
Well, I'm talking about the original romper room when he got. Remember back in 11th Hour?
Yeah, I'm talking about the romper room one. Yeah, we've got the Radio Time cover of that week before it was it.
I don't think they got access to the one the snowmen, did they?
Yeah, I didn't see that one. So it's like, but of course they gave us a preview of the newer one when it came up for the snowman. That was in all over the place for a while. But I'm kind of glad they're holding back on this because there's a lot of rumors, a lot of way caught, and so it's going to be interesting to see if any of those turn out to be true. Okay, go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, just about the trailer for everyone saying that they're unhappy they didn't see any monsters. I think it's for me, it was a smart move because they could literally have anything come out of the woodwork when the show premieres. Because you can have too much in a trailer because there was a Resident Evil animated movie where Capcom just released clip after clip after clip and clip. Basically, they just released the whole movie in clips, and it ruined it for me when I watched the movie. So you could give too much away when you give out a trailer. You could be, just demolishing your dreams in hopes of what could be.
Well, yeah, we learned that back in Series 10, didn't we? When some idiot decided to put John Sim at the end of the trailer. And it's like, the worst part it was even a scene that they didn't use. And oh boy, like I said, Rachel Tulele is still pissed about that. She was going off about that on Twitter for a while because it killed the surprise for Razor. It really did. Okay, Connor, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
I think Philip mentioned the idea of the whole new to me line, and I mentioned I had a theory. What I think, based on a quote that Chibnall said in the pre-press conference, he said that it's going to be very much like War Games going into Spearhead from Space. So obviously, there's no time difference between what happened at the end of War Games to going into Spearhead. So I think that fall that she had at Christmas almost is what's going to impact her for the rest of the series. So I think it's almost a way of tackling the gender politics of the new Doctor without doing it in a patronizing sort of way. So like, here's a new Doctor, she's in a new gender for the first time. Let's give her brain damage or concussion or something from a fall, but let's make it a series long so that we're finding out more about this new it's almost like decompartmentalizing the Doctor's character and rebuilding it in a new way, which is a good idea, to be honest, because like I said, it's a non-patronizing way of dealing with the gender issue. So I think that fall is going to have more significance than we believe, because saying it's new to me, considering that it's new to that body, certainly, but saying that, like, we've never heard any other Doctor say that before, really, unless of course like it's a Peter Davison sort of regeneration. It's sort of, I think that they're decompartmentalizing the Doctor's character, and Chibnall is going to find a way to rebuild it with this new gender. So it's almost like trying to write the Doctor in a different way compared to how we've seen before. Like this whole new, big, bold, epic thing that he's trying to gun for.
Very, very true. Like I said, just to show you a quick example, hang on a second, if I can find the button again. The regeneration cycle. This was one of the best posters I ever saw because it describes it more like anything. Regeneration. I hate this guy. New Doctor's first episode. Okay, I guess, but the last guy was still better. End of the first season. Best Doctor ever. Then you get around here to announces the departure. No, there's no way you can replace them. And I think that's what we're dealing with here. It's not just the fact that we're dealing with a new gender. It's the fact that once again we've got another actor coming in, and it's always a rough ride. And especially, heck, Chibnall's already catching flack in the first episode and ain't even aired yet. So it's bad for the showrunner too. It's like,
well, you got to remember, Freedom, that some of that flack is well deserved because Peter Capaldi announced that he was leaving on his own accord, and then we find out later on, and that's not the truth. That Chibnall wanted a new Doctor. So right there, he was caught on a lie, Chibnall. So that's why he's getting some flack, and it's well deserved because we talked about this a while back when we were saying goodbye to Peter Capaldi. Like, that's not cool. That how the BBC handled that.
Okay, DWC, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know you do want to move on to the bullet points of what we know, so I'll try and make this very, very quick. You mentioned the point of the gender and everything. It is also true there are a small number of people who are going on that because of the casting of Jodie, this is the BBC going SJW, and look, I've been through those circles. I know how anti-SJWs think. I won't say that their reasoning was correct, but I've known them. I've seen their attitude to know where they come to this conclusion with the casting of a woman in this. So, but I want to make one thing clear: something that Chibnall said in the press conference. They did not write this series with the concept of the Doctor as a woman. You happy now? They've written it from the concept of being the Doctor. Simple as that. That's from Chibnall's mouth. It's not been written from the concept of a woman. So I just wanted to get that out of the way for everyone saying that this is Doctor Who going SJW.
Okay, AJ, got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, 2 quick points. About Connor. the first thing with the new series, the Doctor does actually mention quite a few times after he's regenerated, it's all new to me, it's all new to these eyes, this body, and so on and so forth. It's been mentioned a few times. And also with the whole amnesia thing, that's been done to death with the 8th Doctor throughout his run, the movie, and also in the audio plays. How many times did he get amnesia in the audio plays?
And the books.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Okay, first major bullet point. Yes, everyone, we have been introduced to the Cyber Turd, as it's being called on Facebook, aka the new sonic screwdriver. I don't know. What do you folks think of that off the top of the bat? What's your first impressions of it? All right, DWC, you got his hand up first, so go ahead.
Pretty much, I want to say a very alien concept, which is, I know it's pretty weird for a thing that has always been alien, but even with sonic screwdrivers before, I mean, they've always had a very, it's like you kind of know it's a screwdriver, a sonic screwdriver, even with the various different designs, always one light at the top, clear handle. It is actually a screwdriver type bolt. Now you've got something that's, well, like you said, the Cyber Turd. I just don't know what to think of it, especially with the curve at the end. I mean, it's okay. It is ultimately just something new. It's something different, and you always have to do things that are new and different. But sometimes you can go a bit too far. I don't know. It will probably grow on me. But Jodie's costume has grown on me significantly. Although I still argue, I mean, first female Doctor, right business end of that. Again, I'm not saying what it looks like, but Jesus, first female Doctor, why did you have to make it? Why in the art department did someone think that was a good idea?
Yeah, I was just using Cyber Turd because that's one of the more polite names I've heard. Okay, William, you had your hand up first, so we'll go to you.
Maybe.
Shut up, fool. Yeah, as we saw of the Sonic, we and of course the clip that Connor was talking about, that she was making her new Sonic. We knew her Sonic was going to look a little different. Of course, once the photo popped out, oh man, the sexual innuendos out of that, man, that popped out. Whoa! I like, well, let them deal with that. We knew that sooner or later, this Doctor has to have a new Sonic. So how it works and how different it acts as the previous Doctor's Sonic, we can find out when we watch the season. I think the one you could say joking thing is that Doctor Who has truly become Americanized, which is we have the better version on sale over here, and the way you guys want to get it over there in London, so you can suck on that. Hopefully later on, it does something unique that has not been done before with the Sonic. So I got to give props of that. So hopefully it does something that's pretty cool. Hopefully.
Okay, Josh, you were number 2. Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of liked the sonic screwdriver and the whole steampunk feel of it, and it was like completely different to anything that we've had before. But just like William said, it didn't make any sense to me why there are 2 separate versions of it, and why the UK gets the crappier version and the US gets the version with all the pretty lights, because it's like a UK staple. So why would they do that? Why would they make it just plastic for the UK and then we get all the pretty lights? That makes no sense.
I know it's weird because I can't figure that out either. Why the silver one there, and then why do we have the one that has the good paint scheme and all that stuff? But either way, they both spin at the end, which freaks me out. But okay, Philip, you were next. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Right, I understand why the Sonic doesn't look like any other Sonic that's gone before, because she's making it from scratch, and it's not being made from the TARDIS like it normally has. I like the way it is. It looks kind of like the movie, the Predator movie, and they got their kind of like strange metallic thing. That's what it reminds me of. Something to do with the Predator kind of like thing. It's a nice design. I'm not going to say all of the innuendo things. Everybody says that anyway.
Innuendo.
Well, okay, fine, innuendo. But I'm just thinking that, like what you said, William, before, I hope it does something that it hasn't done before. What it hasn't done before. So that's a good point. I'm hoping it has a nice surprise through it. Correct. Overall, it's a good design. And yeah, the American design of it, okay, Americans always do things better than we do, so we don't like to complain. There you go.
Now, the big question I'm shocked that they haven't put out there in into Whovian land is, can she shave her legs with it? Okay, Connor.
Apart from it being compared to a device of pleasurable intent, I've also heard it compared to a gun as well, which has then brought up this big debate about the Doctor being a pacifist. I've seen that in a few places as well, which is all talk. Yeah, it's all a load of, So I don't know. I like it. I like the design of it because it is new, and as Philip said, as we know from filming pictures, it's rough and ready because she makes it herself, from what we can gather anyway. And obviously, because probably the majority of the series is going to be set in Sheffield. Sheffield is very famous for its steel, so having a design like that is very true to the main locale of the series. So like London, it would be London or Cardiff in previous series. Now it's Sheffield, so it's like linking it in. It's nice. I like the design of it. I don't get the whinging about the design of it, to be fair.
Okay, Graham.
Well, for me, I'll say kudos for trying something new design-wise. It looks sleek. You're going to have, obviously, it's probably going to be divisive for a lot of people, obviously. You're going to have people who are going to run around screaming, oh my God, it's compared to this, it's compared to that. You have other ones who'll take it for what it is. It's a TV show and they're trying something new, folks. But as for doing something that it hasn't done before, which Philip alluded to, who knows? I think you might find that it might get you to some tight spots, if you get my meaning, from time to time. So, we'll see. But before you get the design department, at least some kudos for trying something new. People are going to interpret it the way they want to interpret it. Don't mind it, son of a bitches.
And the other big question, does it lubricate itself? AJ.
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of cut down the middle about this Sonic. I've heard everything about the look and the design of it. To me, it almost looks like the 10th Doctor Sonic when he burnt it out twice. It kind of looks like it's all that sort of melted sort of shape. The handle and the design of it looks similar to that. But for my way of thinking, I don't know why they didn't go with one of those original ones that was released by Character Options, the Trans-Temporal Sonic, like that, something like that, and just remarket it as the 13th Doctor Sonic screwdriver. People will be dumb enough to buy that yet again. I mean, I would. And you also had the Build Your Own Sonic kit as well, which had three or two different original designs in it as well. So I don't know why they didn't go to that and say, you know what, we already have this, let's remarket it and sell it again instead of making something new. So
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because I did kind of like those designs. They were pretty neat. Okay, DWC.
Sorry, just pointing to my head again. I've been making the jokes about what it looks like, and then suddenly it popped into my head the memory about, well, if everyone remembers that Comic Relief episode, Curse of the Fatal Death. Yeah, we took the Sonic Screwdriver out there when Joanne Lumley takes Sonic Screwdriver out. Yeah, same joke there. So. Can't say they don't do it again.
Okay,
it has 3 settings.
It has 3 settings. Yeah. All right, next major bullet point. No Daleks. Okay, Connor sprung right to action. So go ahead, Connor.
Good. Bring them back with a new design and a new objective or mission, because they're the most overused thing in television history. You get so bored. It's the same story recycled with sometimes you'd have Davros in there. Sometimes you'd have them on a new alien planet. I think the most inventive one that we've had in 10 years is Into the Dalek, where they actually went inside the Dalek. And that's one of the best episodes of that series. And if that's as far as you can go as creating a decent story for a Dalek, then that's pretty much a #1 sign that they're fatigued as hell and they need to be rested. Because even that's just a really basic, dumb idea as well. So I'm really glad, actually, that they've said no to any Daleks this year, to be honest.
I think they might be afraid to redesign them because remember they tried that once already and it didn't quite work out. It just the new paradigm, where
Go
they're
Power Daleks. Yeah.
yeah the Power Rangers Daleks. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, Josh, you had your hand up next, so go ahead.
I am really glad that the Daleks won't be coming back this season, and I hope that they don't come back for like 3 seasons, because honestly, like everybody else was saying, they were just overused, and they were kind of turning me off to Doctor Who, kind of. Like, it got to the point where the Daleks were just like freaking tin can, and like I wasn't even scared in the slightest of them anymore. Like, they lost all their power and all their intrigue and all that stuff. So I'm definitely glad that they're taking a break. So.
Yeah, they definitely need one. Yeah, because back in the classic series, sometimes it'd be like 3, 5, or any more years before you even saw them again. And then it's like if you keep using them over and over, yeah, I'm not even. It's like, who's really afraid of a Dalek anymore? It's like
Exactly, because all they did was overuse them by putting them in every year, and then there was that rumor that they were contractually obligated to put them in every year, which turned out to be a fake rumor. So that's the only reason why I thought they put them in every year. But then I was like, why do they keep showing up?
I cannot figure that out till this day. It's like they definitely they do need a break, and I'm glad they're doing it. Okay, AJ, you had your hand up next.
Yeah, they might not make an actual episode appearance, but they might make a vocal or even like a flashback appearance. The Doctor's having flashbacks of previous memories or something. But I agree, it is a good move. They've run their course for the time being. Done to death. Time War is basically done now. So, yeah, move on, something new.
Yeah, kind of like they did in Waters of Mars when they just popped up in that one lady's memory. So that's what I'm thinking might happen, and that'll be it. They won't be actually taking an active part in the story, but maybe they'll pop up in a flashback. All right, Graham, you were next.
No, I don't mind them having a break. Oversaturated. I don't know so much. We're talking one story a year. Unwritten well might be a hindering issue with regards to the Daleks. Like you say, but the only break we've had since the show came back was that cameo in the Waters of Mars for Tennant's special season, and I think it was season 6. There was a brief cameo in the finale of season 6. Was it the Wedding of River song? The one in season 6 beyond that. So, yeah, well, we'll see how it goes, but you're getting a break. But as with regards to Josh's point for 3 seasons, sorry mate, no way, Jose. The only thing guaranteed is each Doctor will encounter the Daleks.
Okay, Bill, you had your hand up next. What?
Yeah, I'm glad that the Daleks and the Cybermen are having a rest. I think it is time to put them to bed for a while, and I'm glad that they're bringing in some new villains. It'll be interesting to find out what they are. So yeah, I think they should stay in bed for a little while.
I can agree with that. If you do bring him back, do something like, really neat with him. Like I said, one of the neatest things I liked was when you had like the Daleks fighting each other, like the Dalek Civil War, stuff like that. It's like that would be something interesting to be stuck in the middle of, where you have one faction fighting. But the thing is, like I said, they've been overdone. They keep doing the same formula over and over and over again. So, I'm kind of glad they're going to take a year off, at least for now. All right, Philip, you had your hand up. Next, good.
What if what Chibnall said is a smokescreen and we will get Daleks towards the end of the run? And he's just saying that just to keep the surprise. But at the same time,
then the internet will go batshit crazy and Stephen Moffat's crown has been dethroned.
Okay, and as Josh said about the contract thing, yeah, I don't know how would that work with it. If the contract is not as it was, then there wasn't really a thing in the first place. Then, if this is what is true to be,
how do you know it's no? As I say, we just pointed out 2 cameo appearances that kept the thing going.
Yeah, I know, I understand that, but I was just looking on the point of what Josh was saying. That's all.
Okay, DWC.
Yeah, I think it is good that they're having a rest. I mean, they were becoming a bit of a joke. Anyway, actually, before I go into that, I mean, I think they've needed a rest ever since Series 3. I mean, you had them in Season 1, then you have them pop up right at the end of Season 2. That was a proper surprise. They really weren't announced during that. Then by Series 3, they're back, and I'm thinking, come on, give it a rest. They never appeared this much in the Classic Series. I know people say, oh, don't compare the new series to the Classic Series. Well, there are things from the Classic Series that really do work and do help. But like I was saying earlier, they were becoming a bit of a joke in some ways. I remember in end of season, actually no, I think it was second to last this season, for the Stolen Earth or whatever it was called. There was a bit where they end up meeting Harriet Jones and they actually do the running gag, yes, we know who you are. I'm thinking, did you really need to have them do that? Although in some ways it's become a bit of a joke since they appeared in that Kit Kat advert. If anyone remembers that, we love you, give us a cuddle. But yeah, great to see them gone for a bit. Like Bo said, we're going to get hopefully get some new monsters out of this. I'm going to be very happy for that. But yeah, Daleks, give them a rest, bring them back, possibly next series, maybe series after.
Okay, William, you were next.
Well, like I said in my opening statement, I'd be good if not to see the Daleks at all for this season whatsoever. The only time I think since the series returned that they were any of a threat was Dalek itself. That one Dalek caused so much harm and so much terror in that episode. One Dalek. And it hasn't really caught that. Nothing after that hasn't caught it. So giving them a rest is a great idea. Now, to answer that question of yours, Philip, if, like Graham said, they make an appearance in this season, either in the flashback or just something like that, that means there is a contractual obligation that they have to appear. Even if it was just a flashback or a cameo. If that happens during this whole run, that means there is a contractual obligation, in my opinion. Do I have any proof? No. Their appearance will be the pudding right there. So give them a rest. If they show up, then we know what's up.
Here's a quick one. Would an audio track count as an appearance?
No.
Okay, Josh.
Going back to the contract not being valid, I found it on a random, it was like a Q&A website for one of the people that were involved in the production of the show. It was like over a year ago, so I can't remember the name of the person, but somebody basically asked anonymously, are the Daleks contractually obligated to appear in the season? And then he said, no, that's just a rumor.
Okay.
But I don't remember what website it was on. I just know it was on like a Q&A type website where you could submit questions anonymously or something. But I don't remember what exact website I found it on.
I wouldn't discredit your source. I would just say beware of false Greeks bearing gifts.
Yeah. Connor?
Sorry. I don't think that contract exists for three reasons. One, I've never heard of a contract with a TV character like that before. It's a bit absurd. Two, I think the Daleks are only overused because they're the only thing, aside from the TARDIS, that is worldwide recognizable with Doctor Who. It's the brand image. So obviously if you have a Dalek in every series, then you're probably going to likely sell to a bigger audience than you would if you had 10 episodes as we're going to get of all new monsters. And three, I don't think that the BBC would ever accept any agreement like that anyway, knowing how strict and sort of business interest worthy the TV industry in general is. I just think it's an absurd urban legend.
I think I'm gonna interject. I think the contract was done to also let them appear in Big Finish. So
here's the thing: the only argument against that, Connor, is somebody did come out and say that during the production of season 1, it was really, really late in the day before they got access to use the Daleks. They thought they were going to have to go season 1 in fact, full production without using them at all.
Is that
There
not
was a-
because someone else would have owned the rights there? Or
It
did
was a Terry Nation estate, yeah. They had to go and dig up his relatives and say,
Well, I guess that's kind of the same with anything. I think when, like, we obviously with the whole Marvel and Disney, like,
Yeah.
sometimes you get the odd character that's owned by someone else that it's
mean,
really on in the process.
these folks are batshit crazy. They were still in the process of suing Looney Tunes for them showing up in that Looney Tunes movie in the early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So-
I think in terms of the series, one thing, it's just a really late on
Hmm.
thing in the process. Like that's the way it was because of legal sort of proceedings.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they threw something like that in there. We want a bit of money each year. You might be right. I might be right. Who the hell knows? Only the lawyers.
And for those of you who are less informed, that's the Terry Nation estate, not Terrence Dix. Okay, Philip.
I was thinking that what with this new writer's room that they got, you would think that in regards to the Daleks, they could write a proper good story with them now. They've got all that melting pot of brains to make a good story. So maybe they could use the Daleks and give them a proper story. And that's what the problem is. The Dalek stories are not good enough for the Daleks to be in because they come across crap. So if you've got this writer's room, then yeah, maybe they could do something proper with it.
Yeah, as much as that's a good theory, Phil, you also have the situation where too many cooks could spoil the broth.
Very true.
Yeah, but you've got to give them a chance to try and see what they can do.
True. Yeah.
But it'd be
Okay.
better. It'd be better if they use new monsters. If anything, story wise sticks out, then I mean you could tell that writer, hey, try to bring something with a dollar that makes them back to bring them back as being scary again.
Okay, last major bullet point: 10 standalone stories, no two-parters. Who wants to hop on that real quick? Okay, DWC is first. Go ahead.
It is certainly a downgrade from before. I mean, we've started with 13, we've then been to 12, now we're pretty much at 10. I should also point out, I looked at the San Diego Comic-Con press room Q&A, and they said, yeah, while it is going to be 10 shown to anyone who's saying that they're worried is there not going to be a Christmas special this year, they have actually stated, yeah, we're showing 10, but we filmed 11, so yeah, there is going to be a Christmas special in this, but the doing 10, I do kind of wonder, is this a budget thing? Have they lost out because they didn't adapt the license fee quickly enough to apply to iPlayer as well? But yeah, I don't know what to think. I suppose 10 will be nice. It will be just nice, short, concise. Won't have to have such a long attention span, effectively. But yeah, I'm okay with 10.
Yeah, plus the other thing I forgot to mention, yeah, they're talking like 55-minute episodes. I think the opener is going to be like 65. We're not sure how long the finale is going to be. So while we are losing another couple episodes, they are extending the length of the individual ones. So that hopefully will make up for it a little. God only knows, I wish we were back in the days we had 13 episodes and a Christmas special, but I don't know. That's just the way the format they want to go with. All right, Connor, you had your hand up next. So
10 episodes is pretty much in the days of Netflix, is pretty much the industry standard now, I think. In terms of no overarching story arc, yeah, good, because usually these days the story arcs fall apart after like episode 5, or you forget about it for like 5 episodes and then come back to it and everyone's forgotten what's happened before. So I think 10 standalone, individual, compartmentalized movie-like stories is exactly the direction that they need to go in. Chibnall is really selling me this series based on the production notes that he's giving out alone. It's less about what I'm actually seeing and more about what I'm actually hearing about how they're structuring this series. It does sound very different. Like 10 episodes is more than enough, I think, for a series of Doctor Who. As DWC said, it's very concise, and you do run less risk of the quality control losing any sort of steam. Like you're probably better off managing 10 episodes than you are 13 at this point, especially with no story arc. I think it'll just be a lot easier for a quality series to be put out.
Okay, Philip, you were next.
Yeah, I like the idea of 10 episodes. Are those people are saying that there might not be a story arc? I've got a sneaking feeling that there is going to be some linking thing to it. Because you think about it, if the rumor is true about what's his name, Cummings being in more than one episode, there had to be a linking reason why he's in more than one episode. If you think about it, so that's what
Could be a cameo.
yeah, or a flashback to something. Okay, I get your point then. But yeah, 10 episodes, yeah, it seemed to be a nice size. I just hope that the stories do sort of like fill out properly within each episode. That we don't get sort of like get a cut off where it's like, oh, that's not a good ending to X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm trying to say. But I'm fine with it as well.
Okay, Josh.
I like the whole idea of the 10 episode, no overarching story thing, because it really reminds me of, like, Black Mirror, and I've always wanted Doctor Who to be kind of in that same thing. But like Philip said, I do think that there's going to be some, like, minor linkage between the stories, but as far as the no overarching story, I actually like that idea, and I think it's better for the future of Doctor Who, in my opinion, to have no overarching story, because you can just focus on, having one story at a time and just focus on that instead of trying to remember all the convoluted arts and stuff, especially with Stephen Moffat, but we won't get into that. Stephen Moffat is gone, thankfully. So anyway, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, Neo?
10 episodes. Well, I like that we're having 10 straight episodes and we're having a Christmas one as well. Because I literally thought, I said, oh, then it's going to be 10 episodes. They're going to take one away for the Christmas special. And I would have left us with 9. But I also like that he said it was 55 minutes now. So that's different. That's different. That's something different. I like that. It's be interesting to see what, how it's going to work out, how they're going to do the issue. They're going to have their little middle, probably, trying to figure out what to do next, and how they're going to do their end game for each villain, bad guy, or whatever. That'll be interesting to see. How fast they get there. Maybe the episodes might be a little bit rushed, or maybe they'll do it and slow it down or something like that. It'll be interesting to see how they manage that.
Okay, AJ.
I'm not sure how I feel about these 10 standalone episodes. I like that they're an hour long each and all that, but I remember back in Series 7, Part A, where Moffat said that he was going to have the first part of that series be individual stories. So it was going to be no arc. It was going to be like a mini movie every week. And those were pretty bad, if I remember correctly, like this Asylum of the Daleks and whatnot.
Hang on, sorry to interrupt, AJ. As much as I get your point, the whole movie of the week thing never panned out for Series 7 Part A, there was an arc. It was leading up to the departure of the Pawns.
Yeah, I know that. I understand that, but what I'm saying is like how they mentioned it was basically not an overarching thing. It was just, each individual story. I think there will be a sort of sub-arc for this series, though. Something we're not going to see until like the very end. But time will tell, as we always say.
Yeah, all of Series 7, man. Well, not all of it was bad, but I'm just saying, oh, goodness. Asshole of the Daleks, the Rings of A-Hole 10. Yeah, just the journey to the center of my disappointment. Oh, man.
Cold War was all right.
Well, you were next, Graham. Go ahead.
Yeah, 10 episodes, standalone. Fine, give it a try. See how it goes. I'd err on the side of caution, just for the reason that AJ brought up. Give it a go for this season, see how it pans out. The problem you've got is people get pissed off with arcs, and yet at the same time, people can also get pissed off with the whole standard villain of the week format as well. And essentially can't win. It really depends on A, the story you're telling, and B, what the villain is for that week, and whether the formula gets a bit repetitive or not. But yeah, it's been the first time in a while, so I'll give it a try and see how it pans out.
Okay, William, you were up next.
we knew about the 10 episode thing being 55 minutes, so that's like almost like having the 12 episodes again. But I wish they would do 1 2-parter just to introduce a threat, whether it's an alien threat or a human threat, that is such a threat that it takes 2 parts to deal with it. But the thing is, I feel that since we know now it's 10 single episodes, that you could almost say I don't really have to watch it because it's not going to end in the cliffhangers. I could wait to it air, either airs. I could watch it in other ways instead of watching it when it first airs. And then and if the next time trailer doesn't catch you that you want to watch it next week, you might like I skip it since it's only a single. It's a solo story. I can wait till the next one pops up like that. So in a way, I mean, yeah, you got 10 episodes because of course you introducing a new doctor and a companion, but they could have done at least 1 2-parter to show the companions and us that there are big threats besides the Cybermen and the Daleks that could do harm to everybody. So I wish they could do at least one of them.
Okay, DWC.
Yeah, on the topic of no overarching story arc, that's frankly great. I've been wanting that ever since Rusty Davis left. I was hoping, but when he left, we'd have no overarching story arcs. But on top of that, the lack of an overarching story arc would probably make for better written arcs for the companions, if anything else. Because what culture was bringing us up? Because for the longest time, a lot of the whole point of the companions, ever since it came back, was pretty much the show somewhat revolving around them. Or when you get to the end of the series, it's there's this whole overarching process of story that just revolves around them. Rose is the bad wolf, Martha is the traveler, sort of thing. Then you get the Dr. Donna. Really, they actually kind of did it right with Bill, if anything else. They didn't really build up that she was going to be turned into a Cyberman. They just did it. And I like that. That allows for Bill to just be her own character rather than being so miraculously important to everything. And I hope that with no overarching story arcs that the companions in this, in fact, the fact that it is 3 companions, and it doesn't look like any one of them is going to be bigger than the other, so, or at least not from what we've seen so far, it doesn't look any one of them's going to be bigger than the other.
Hopefully one of them will become a red shirt.
All right, well, whatever. The point is, hopefully we're going to get some companions that are actually companions or friends this year, as opposed to the whole everything revolved around you, because that was frankly getting really old, really annoying. And yeah, good, no overarching story arc, just day of the week. That's what I.
Okay, Philip.
2 things. First thing, William mentioned about the next time trailer. I'm wondering will they still carry that on within this new run on Doctor Who? Because I kind of like the idea that they don't do that.
I'm gonna have to answer that. The answer is yes. Since it airs here in BBC America and we show it with commercials, then we need that time to show the next time trailer.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, will they change that format for this time, just for the sake of it? Secondly, in regards to the story writing and everything, and 55 minutes for the story, I'm hoping they will flesh out the villains of the week a bit more than what they've usually done, because normally there's never enough time for the villain to create their problems and have the problem sorted out and then battle it. You never really got that in the last couple of seasons, and I'm hoping we get a bit more, a bit more antagonistic stuff with the villains than just sort of like, suburban crap, if you know what I mean. But that's what I'm trying to say. All right.
Well, yeah, I can see BBC America adjusting their format, for the new one altogether, because, like I said, over here on BBC America, when Doctor Who airs, it was consistently over and over again over the last few seasons the highest rated drama they had on their channel. It was like scoring record numbers over here on BBC America. So that's why I can see them. They'll bend over backwards for it.
But how can that be? No one liked the old man.
Oh, yeah, that's what's weird. Everybody was complaining about the old man, but over here, I think it was like, what was it? The Twice Upon a Time was like one of their highest rated things they ever had on there, and it was like scoring millions of viewers on BBC America. So I don't know what's going on across the pond. The numbers have been kind of fluctuating and falling around on the same lines.
Well, they're not paying their TV license.
Yeah, over here, it's they've been having record numbers. If I have to, I can bring the articles up. It's like, damn. It's like, okay, Connor.
2 points. One, to step away from the story arc criticism and more actually focus on the two-parters. There are very few two-parters recently. In fact, actually, since 2005, where both parts have stood up to be as good as each other. So getting rid of that also, I think, is a decent idea. And secondly, in terms of a story arc, Chibnall did say that each companion will go on their own emotional journey. So I guess that it's more of a character-driven series than, oh, look, we're going to fight a Cyberman or we're going to fight a Zygon this week. It's more about like sense of adventure in yourself, maybe, or something. It'll be something really emotionally corny, but all the same, like he did say that they're going to go on an emotional journey. So I guess that even though there's not going to be a story arc, he's going to more focus on character and it being character driven than plot driven.
No, that's fine, but you're still going to have a threat.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they'll obviously have a threat, but I think it's more about like finding that sense of adventure. You know, like in the first teaser, we saw Bradley Walsh get from a newspaper, he got a Beano comic. It's probably more about him finding his childhood self again. So that sort of story arc.
Okay.
My demand, the Chibnall, we must bring back the Crotons because I want to see Mandip Gill and Jody wrestle in foam. Okay. Josh, you're next.
Yeah, I agree with what Doctor Who commentator said, and I know that they said that they were gonna focus on like character, focus on the characters, but at the same time, it's like I don't have that much I don't have that much faith in Chris Chibnall to be able to write those stories, because when he was doing Broadchurch, it kind of got stale by the end. So I'm just hoping that him doing all these character-related things doesn't make it stale and boring and all that stuff.
Don't worry, he'll only have 3 seasons, then you can bet it somewhere else.
Okay, Graham, your hand was still up. Go ahead.
Yeah, folks are never satisfied. The only place I could potentially see an issue with a standalone format is your season finale. It's supposed to be your climax to your 10-episode run. It's your bog standard villain of the week. All right, you might have 10, 15 minutes extra to play with on the time scale, but when they build up to it, it's like you're going to have to be a fast-paced first 15, 20 minutes to have your setup, your middle, and your conclusion. But as I say, with regards to Philip's thing with the whole 10 episodes, and what you've got to remember is essentially they're filming 2 episodes less this year, but they're actually filming more timescale-wise. You get between 10 and 12 minutes extra an episode on average. So it'll be interesting to see how they use it and if they use it effectively.
Okay, Connor, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Structurally, it's not too much different from a classic series, actually, because it's not like Revenge of the Cyberman was a conclusion to a storyline. In fact, no, that's a bad idea because that kind of is.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's not like Seeds of Doom is like a storyline that is the end of a storyline that was started in like Terror of the Zygons or whatever was at the start of that season. So I think it's just more structurally like a classic series of Doctor Who than it is a new. So
that's a fair comment.
The idea of the big season finale anymore, because maybe we don't actually need it.
No, that's fine. That's a fair comment. The only difference is obviously they're serial. You were only broadcasting 25 minutes as opposed to an hour, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, I know, yeah, but like I said, one thing I just remember, like the one thing that would have made both the trailers we did get ultra dynamic really would have heightened them to me was a freaking release date.
That in the opening statement.
Okay, I just had to throw that in because that was the last of my major bullet points I had to cover. Was there anything else anyone wanted to cover before we headed on out and called it a night? All right, Connor threw up his hand first, so we'll go over there.
Also, like a little bit of information that I saw on Twitter. There's 5 guest writer spots. One is a person of color. 2 is female. That's the first person of color writer in Doctor Who history. So that's kind of like something that I think should be mentioned in some degree. Whether it matters.
Did they write the Rosa Parks episode?
Probably.
Well, it is interesting that, as far as we know, that they've brought in all new writers. We know none of the usuals have been called back. Like I said, no sign of Gaddis, no sign of anyone else that would normally be writing for Doctor Who. So they really are going for all new. All new lineup, all new, format. So it's going to be interesting to see what these writers come up with that the others haven't over the past few years. Me personally, calls Bob Shearman and give him whatever he wants. Okay, Philip.
As much as I like the idea of this kind of writing grouping, is that going to be? They're not going to be the same writers for next year. Is it going to be like a switch around every year, different type of writers, or you think that's
writer rooms rotate, Phil?
Do they? I don't know that because I've never done a writer's room, so I wouldn't know. I'm just asking about it. So yeah, okay, fair enough. They are. They look. I hope they do a good job, and yeah, maybe having women on board as well would give us a kind of sense of how they perceive the Doctor in a female sense, how they write her in that way.
Well, I don't envision a return of the Vervoids anytime soon.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, as DWC brought up, and that's one of the things they emphasized, they did not write this season with a female Doctor in mind. They wrote it with the Doctor in mind. And I think that's a key point we all got to remember.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah. Josh, you had your hand up. Good.
Yeah, one thing I did kind of want to touch on is in the panel, Chibnall kept, pushing that, he was trying to make Doctor Who more mainstream and to have people that have never watched Doctor Who watch the show or whatever. And my question is, does everybody think it's a good idea to make Doctor Who mainstream? Because I feel like if you make it mainstream, you would have to dumb it down and get rid of the lore and all that stuff. Oh, you could. Let me mute myself. Of course, this happens.
Don't worry, it happens to us all.
I'm trying to mute myself. Lord. Just let the shit ring. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, my whole thing is I don't know if I want Doctor Who to be mainstream because, there's so much lore, and to make it mainstream seems kind of impossible to me. I mean, you can try to, introduce new people to it, but they still, have to watch, from 2005. So my thing is, how can you make it so mainstream where they don't even have to know what the hell it is and it still be Doctor Who?
Well, what he said he's trying to do is that they want to make it so that this is a good jumping on point. So that way, if there are new viewers out there who are tend to take interest, or even old viewers they've somehow lost along the way, that maybe they'll hop back on. Because one of the things I think it was Matt Stevens and Chibnall emphasized, while it is going to be all new and they want to make it more accessible, there are going to be plenty of little nods here and there for the classic fans to catch, and and that they're going to know that the folks who are just tuning in aren't. So they are acknowledging that, there's people who've been watching this for years, and there's going to be little, I think, Easter eggs here and there that people are going to catch on to if you've been a long time watcher. So, but the thing is, what they really need to do right now, because, like I said before, they've kind of hit a plateau, and the show's wavering in the ratings over there. It's, it's not taking this dramatic downfall plunge like they've been advertising, but it has been dropping slightly here and there. And what they want to do is, when you hit the plateau, you can either go up or you can go down. And they want to get those numbers back up, because you see, I don't know why they're freaking out, because even though the ratings over there in UK have been running this flat line for the past few years, shows now worldwide. So technically, it's been mainstream for years. It's now watched across like 100-something countries across the world, which really neat. So
mostly Americanized.
That's right, Americanized. Insert ding here. Okay. Philip, you threw your hand up. Good.
You're still on mute.
I was gonna respond to the mainstream point there, but you've already responded to it succinctly. I was just going to say that it was always been mainstream. It's just a point of whether people's interested in watching it or not. That's all it is. It's always been mainstream.
Yeah, true. Like I said, I don't think it was necessarily like things that happened in the show. I think one of the big factors as to why the views started dropping and why they started losing people was, you can't blame Moffat, you can't blame Peter Capaldi, you can't blame Matt Smith. You got to blame the idiots who decided it was a good idea we're going to do split seasons. Oh no, we're going to take this year off. That right there, you're going to lose people, because they're sitting there, they're waiting. You've got them hyped up, and then time comes around. Well, all right, we're not doing it this year. What? And I think that's where they lost a lot of the viewers, was this inconsistent crap that started at around Series 6 with, okay, we're going to do it here, we're going to do it here, we're going to split the season here, we're going to take a year off. That turns people off right there. If you can't stay consistent, you're going to lose viewers. And like I said, a lot of those decisions were not made by Stephen Moffat. Matter of fact, the big break between Series 9 and 10, that was BBC Worldwide made that call. That's now public knowledge. Because they wanted to focus on Sherlock that year. So you can't blame them. You got to blame the guys in the suits in the upper offices. Okay, DWC.
Yeah, I just wanted to get back on Josh's point. I mean, everyone's actually already said it. Is it a good idea mainstream? Well, it's always been mainstream, particularly over here. It is a mainstream show. You can't really fault it for being that. And on top of the whole thing about, they need to get new people. Are they just going to focus on new people and dumb it down for new people? Well, getting off the dumbing down point side of it, have you ever heard of a dying church? It's where when you lose too many people, there's no point in something existing, and that's the thing about wanting to get new people on board. You have to get new people on board to keep this show alive. And you equally made the point that, but aren't they going to have to watch everything from 2005? You are aware Doctor Who started in 1963, right? There's so much lore, and they have been keeping the lore within the new series of Doctor Who. So I wouldn't see that as much. If they go completely off the rails and feels like, I mean, I remember when we had that situation with the Pope came in and people were complaining, including me, when we all saw that little teaser, that he was speaking in Italian when the TARDIS was supposed to translate, and people were going, why do you stick so hard to the lore? Because this is a big part of it. But then you see the episode, and it becomes kind of clear why he isn't. So, they were sticking to the law. So, yeah, they do stick to the law. Will I get complaining? Will I be annoyed at people complaining about, why are you so sticking to so much continuity of Doctor Who? Well, yeah, of course I'm going to annoy that, because I'm thinking, dude, this is a whole bit of my life. This is a whole thing. But look, it is mainstream here. You need to get new people in here. They're going to need to put some new, fresh ideas in there. So long as they don't trample on the old ideas, it'll be fine.
I mean, I get what you're saying there, and I guess my main point with the whole thing was just, I just hope that they don't try to make it too, new, and then try to, rewrite the lore. It's my problem. I hope they don't, especially with the whole her making the sonic screwdriver. That's never happened. And, I just don't like it when they tinker with things that have been a certain way for 50 years. Like, I mean, it took me a little while to get used to Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, because I was like, you know, for 50 years it's been a certain way and they're just changing it. But then, you know, I got more educated on it and I was like, well, it is an alien, you know, but it still kind of tipped me off a little bit. But anyway, like I complain about a lot of stuff, so.
The show has always been consistently changing to keep up with the younger audiences, and and you just said, oh, the Jodie's in the trailer. See, Jodie was making her sonic screwdriver. That never happened before. Well, how do you know? It's been in with the second Doctor invented the sonic screwdriver. It was pretty much the episode is missing, so I haven't seen it. But as far as I understand, it was kind of indicated that he was the one that invented it. He essentially built it. So you have no idea how this is. But you have no idea that the Doctor's not made sonic screwdriver. He pretty much, it's very possible he has made sonic screwdrivers.
Yeah, well, I can agree with that. I was just saying on screen it's never been done.
Well, we know Romana made her own.
Yeah. And
oh,
like I
really? I don't remember that.
And like I said, the show has consistently changed to keep up with modern trends. A lot. The episodes with Ace, like the series with the second Doctor, that's very clearly 80s. That's very clearly an 80s style. Even when they're on alien planets, it's a very 80s style. You look back at 1963, that's a very 1960s style.
Right.
Even the alien planets.
Also, I think the reasoning behind her making the sonic screwdriver is that this is, well, spoiler alert, this is over the course of the first episode, and she doesn't have access to the TARDIS. So what it is she's finding pieces that have fallen out when the TARDIS is dumping her out. And at least is my theory. In order to make a new sonic screwdriver, because she doesn't have access to the TARDIS to do it for her in this case.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I think that's what he's aiming for. At least that's what I'm thinking. But okay, William, you got your hand up good.
Yeah. Doctor Who, of course, has been mainstream for quite a while. But one of the things that brings concern is that we don't want this show to be run by SJW. This is supposed to be the show about the Doctor, and of course, the Doctor's adventures. One thing that Christian must be a little bit careful is that even though this woman is playing the Doctor, it is the Doctor. So that means the Doctor will be always thinking and always questioning things, and Tribunal must try his best not to have this Doctor in a way be feminine. Even though he's a woman actress playing the Doctor, it is still the Doctor. Because if you go back, even though the past Doctor have been men, you don't have actually see any of them acting masculine, except for maybe when Capaldi punched a certain person because of being rude to this chick because of her color, or skin color, like that. But that was just because of the plot point. So hopefully, the Doctor, when the show comes back, does act more like the Doctor. You know, that it doesn't make me think why is acting like a chick. No, let it be like the Doctor. Anyway, like we got a while ago before the show returns, but I wish they do. One thing I think they need to get their head out. They need to do another trailer with a release date. We need to know the release date of when the show returns once for all.
Yeah, that's like one quick thing before I move on to Philip. Like I said, a lot of people have been going, "You're pro Jodie." No, I'm pro the Doctor, because what happened was I've been showing the same level of excitement as I did when they announced Peter Capaldi, because when his name first started cropping up in the betting forums and all that stuff, and I began doing research on this man, and I was like, well, damn, this is a very accomplished actor. He's done a lot of great things. Heck, the guy has an Oscar for like a best short film and stuff like that. And then when Jodie Whittaker's name, cropped up and it was announced, I started doing research on her. And from what I've seen, she's done an incredible body of work. I think she's more than qualified to do it. It's not, now if they had gone out and hired like a 19-year-old singer turned actress or something like, say a Britney Spears type or something who had never even set foot on a stage, let alone onto a TV, series, set. Oh yes, I would be pulling my own ears off and screaming.
Boxes.
Yeah, I'd be like, Okay, Philip, you had your hand up next, so go ahead.
One thing I like about what we're seeing of Jodie's doctor so far, that she's a hands-on creative doctor. She's not. She's building things from scratch by her own hands, and she's not using other things to do that, like using some sort of technology to make something. You know what I'm trying to say? She's very good with her hands on that. The other thing I'm bothered about, William, is when you said about don't make her be a woman as a doctor, just play as a doctor. How do you play the doctor? There's been what, 13 different ways the doctor's been played. So
they've been played by different actors, but they all were the doctor.
That's what I'm saying, though. But
that's right.
You shouldn't worry about the fact that they're going to play her as a woman, because she won't be.
No, I'm not saying I'm not. No, let's hope the Chibnall knows that. Remember, he's a showrunner and writing.
He knows that. He's an old stalwart at this thing, so he's not going to make that mistake.
Let's hope he doesn't get influenced by the higher ups.
Well,
that's the only concern. Those sneaky bastards on the 6th floor.
Yeah. Okay, Josh, you had your hand up next, so go ahead.
My thing is this: Chibnall has said repeatedly in the press conference and the other conference that it's not focused on gender. So therefore, the doctor is the doctor. The doctor is not a woman. Like, the doctor is just a being. So I don't understand why you're worried about the gender when the doctor is not. The doctor is an alien, genderless. So why does it not matter?
Well, I'd like to think that Time Lords are above that kind of thing. It's something they've brought up over, the thing that's not something they really focus on in their society. So I think that's what they're going to aim at here. It's not going to be a big deal. We have to remember, Chibs is also a classic fan. He's so the show's in good hands. I said the same thing about Moffat. But no, the thing is, we can't really judge based off the incoming actor and how their performance is going to be until we actually see it. Because if I had been back on the air back when they announced Matt Smith, I saw a picture of Matt Smith and I'm like, who is this baby-faced Frankenstein-headed ass? I'm not kidding. Look at that head. I'm like, oh my goodness. But he came on the scene in the 11th hour, and he had me inside that first hour. Boom, he hooked me right on.
Yeah, he was my favorite modern doctor besides Capaldi. And going back to Jodie, I have no problem with her being the doctor at all. Because like you said, with Capaldi, you looked at his filmography, and I did the same thing with Jodie, and I'm like, well, damn, she's a good actress. She can pull the doctor off. So it's like, I don't understand the whole backlash at all, really.
Matter of fact, you people watching, if you're not done this yet, go on to YouTube and look up a little play called Antigone, Antigone, where she's doing scenes with Chris Eccleston. And it's very, very powerful stuff. It's very well acted between the both of them. And it's, oh gosh, I just can't, like I said, it was some really good stuff. And I'm like, damn, she can really hold her own. Okay, Connor, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
If you actually want to see Jodie in a very doctorish role, watch Attack of the Block with John Boyega as well. That is an exceptional film. And it's an independent British film. Very low budget, but she steals it. And that's
I love that movie.
Yeah, that's what sold me for the Doctor. On another point, what Philip said about her being an inventor and like a hands-on sort of tinker of a Doctor, I think that it would be really cool, even though the TARDIS is organic, if we saw her building her own interior, sort of thing. It'd be a big thing because obviously, like, Jodie's probably not got much experience in like welding or something, but having like the three companions just come into the TARDIS and you just see Jodie like moving around the TARDIS, like doing whatever you need to do to build that interior, I think that'd be really good, and that would set a different character trait for the Doctor. That's something that we've never seen before, even though the TARDIS is primarily an organic specimen sort of thing that does build itself.
Okay, Graham.
Just to put the guys up on the whole Jodie aspect, this isn't a decision the Chibs has made lightly, obviously. It's no the old pals act everybody assumed for Broadchurch. It's no, just because that's my mate and I've worked with her before. It was actually revealed during I think it was the TV Line panel at Comic-Con. She was called back twice for mere read-throughs when she was filming Trust Me. The higher-ups wanted to make sure. It wasn't a case of come February time that they had her. It was like that. She was still auditioning for this thing back in March last year, April. So, yeah, it's not a case of one phone call and the job's yours, dearie.
Yeah, I love the way they described how she did her audition for that recording, where she basically had like a shoebox filled with iPhone like wires and parts, and was doing a scene as if she was defusing a bomb. And then she sent that, and she said she was so scared and all that about her own performance in that clip, she immediately deleted off her phone. She was afraid she'd accidentally send it to the wrong person, or so, also. So, it'd be interesting to see if that ever pops up as a special feature that they kept it, because we have seen audition scenes, with previous doctors before and whatnot. So it'd be really interesting to see if that pops up sometime in the future. Okay, AJ, you got your hand up, bud.
Yeah, to follow on what Connor said before about the Jodie's Doctor being hands-on and probably building her own console room, it's now Doctor Who DIY.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
TARDIS improvements. Yeah.
Do it yourself TARDIS improvement kit. Well, folks, we've wandered off the plot a bit, but like I said, we've had a lot of fun over the last, I think we're going on well over an hour. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I just want to say, we're all more excited. We're all more anxious. And for gosh sake, give us a release date.
There you go.
Yeah.
We want to know when this is coming out, because now we've heard there's a possibility this could be as early as mid-September. That's another one's going around. So,
at which point the BBC gets sued for false advertising, but we don't care.
So I don't want to get my hopes up, but I would really rather see it then than 1st of October for second week of October or whatever. So until then, until next time we talk, have a chat. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.
See you.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Pigs in space.
Good night.